Hello everybody, Todd here, all things archery and shooting. Welcome to my channel today. Today we're going to be talking about arrows and the arrows I use on my reviews here. I've had a lot of requests from you guys about what kind of arrows I use. Do I build my own arrows? What's the cost? So I'm going to answer all that in this two-part video. The first part is going to be the components I use to build the arrows with, and the second part with the actual building process of the arrows, all right? I enjoy building my arrows for a lot of reasons, mostly because it's relaxing to me. I've got a pretty stressful job during my daytime, and when I'm really stressed, I'll come in, I'll crack open a cold beer, I'll go to my workshop over there, and I'll start building some arrows. I just love building arrows. They're relaxing. It's kind of hard to explain, but once you build a set, you'll see what I'm talking about. Another reason I like building my arrows because it's like pride in my work. Once I get an arrow completed, a dozen arrows completed, I can look at them. They're really nice. They're beautiful. They're built the way I want them. I get a lot of pride in my work, and that means a lot to me also. And also the biggest thing is cost. I mean, I can build a dozen arrows for probably around $70 a dozen. That's a whole dozen arrows, complete built from start to finish, all the components. If you were to buy a dozen arrows, I just checked online at Three Rivers and Lancaster and places like that, and I found my arrows anywhere from $120 up to $300 a dozen. And I'm saying $300 a dozen, that's crazy. That was some expensive arrows, but most run between $120 and $150 a dozen for carbon shafts. And last but not least, the reason I build my arrows is because I can tune the arrows to my bow. I can get the shafts I need, I get them cut to the length I need, and I can tune them to my bow. And that's the whole process. I mean, every video you see of me is the arrows that I'm using are ones that I have actually built myself for different bows, all right? So today we're going to talk about the components I use and the cost and how to do it. Remember, this will be a two-part video. First part, we're going over all the components. Second part, of the actual build series. So without further ado, let me get the camera down here. I'll show you all the stuff we got here. We'll go over the cost. That way you know what it costs, all right? Let's do that right now. Okay, first thing, what things you're going to need to build these arrows. You're going to need some isopropyl alcohol. You get this from, I get this from Walgreens. It runs about $1, $1.50 a bottle, something like that. You're also going to need some Q-tips, all right? You're also going to need a little rag. Okay, it's an old t-shirt of mine I ripped up. Okay, and you're going to need some glue, of course. Now the glue I use is called Rapid Fuse. It's made by DAP. I get this from Home Depot. It runs about $6 a tube. It's about 1/3 the cost of the stuff you buy from like Three Rivers or Lancaster, designed to put your nocks in your carbon arrows with. And I found this stuff works best than anything I've tried, and at $6, it's about 1/3 the cost. Most of the stuff you buy from Three Rivers, Lancaster runs between $12 and $18. This stuff is 1/3 the cost and works just as good, if not better, okay? It's called Rapid Fuse by DAP, all right? Next, we're going to talk about the nocks. Now, these nocks I get 100 of these nocks. I buy them from Amazon. They come like $8 for 100. So you figure you're getting what? 8 dozen out of 100, so that's what, 8, and it's about $1 a set for 12 nocks, roughly, okay? Next are going to be your inserts. I use brass inserts, okay? These brass inserts, these are 100 grain brass inserts. They run $6.99 for 12, or you can get if you do a lot like I do, I usually buy them in a bulk of 50. I think 50 cost me about $21, $24, something like that. But for this presentation, I just bought a pack of 12 with $6.99, okay? Also, you got your feathers here. These are your shield cut feathers, 4-inch. I like shield cut. All right. They come in 25 per box, and it's like $12 a box. Here's the orange ones. This box is full and haven't been used yet, so you see we're going to do a black and orange theme, okay? Like I said, $12 a box, okay? Next, we're going to have is our arrow wraps. These arrow wraps are made by White Water Archery. They do a lot of nice arrow wraps, a lot of different styles. And these run about $12 for 15 of them. And if you could buy a lot like I do, that start giving you discounts to reach different level. I think I'm at 25% off now. So actually these things cost me less than $10 for 15. Okay. Next last but not least, you're gonna have your arrows. Now these are Sharrow arrows. These are Chinese made arrows. These are carbon arrows. They're a 500 spine arrow. They got like a bamboo coating on them. That coating wears really well. I built these before. That coating doesn't really wear off. I don't know if it's dipped or what, or Cerakote, it's something, but it has a tough coating on there. Only thing that really wears off is this black ink mark here. That wears off in no time at all. But this is a 500 spine. That's kind of deceiving. This actually spines out around 420 cord of my spine machine. And these are a heavy shaft. When I say heavy, they're really 13 grains per inch. And I'm using a 30.5-inch arrow. So this arrow shaft weighs 395 grains. The reason I'm doing that because I'm fixing to build, I want to build around a 620 grain hunting arrow, okay, for this bow that I'm going to be reviewing soon. All right. So that's the arrow shaft. Then of course you're going to need a little piece of cardboard. You can always use a knife or something. I'll show you that's used. And you're going to need an old mouse pad or magazine or something. I'll show you that's used for too. Okay. All right. That's all the material. We'll go through the cost real quick, and then we'll move on to part 2. Okay, let's review the cost of everything, and we'll go from then we'll on part 2. I say I can build these for probably about $60 to $70 per dozen, which for carbon arrows is a really cheap price. I can actually, I'll be doing another series, a wood arrow series. I can actually build wood arrows for about $50 a dozen. I'll go over that. That'll be the next video we do. But back to this. So let's start with pricing. First are these Sharrow arrows, okay? I bought these from Amazon. I got them for $29.99 for a dozen of bare shafts, no knocks, no inserts. Tax and everything came out to about $31 a dozen, okay? Shipped to my house in 2 days. Can't beat that, okay? These brass inserts, $7 for 12, so now we got 31 and 7, worth $38, okay? These knocks, they run about $1 for 12, so now we're at 31 and 7 $38, and $1 more is $39, okay? Then you got $12 for 25 of these. We're gonna need 24 of these to build your shaft. There's an extra one in there, so $12 for 24 of these. So that's $12, and then so that's 12 and 39 is 49. That's $51, okay? And then you've got, I got 12 out of 25 in this. We'll split this in half, so this will be $6. So we're at 51 plus 6 is $57 now, okay? And then of course you got your wraps. I buy a lot of these. I'm at a different level for purchasing, which you can get to. I'll put this information there for you. The more of these you buy, the cheaper the price gets. I think I'm paying around $8 or so for wraps now. So we're what, at 57 plus 8, $65, okay? Then of course you're gonna need some rapid fuse or any kind of glue, some isopropyl alcohol, and some other stuff. So right about $65 a dozen to build these arrows, okay? All right, well stay tuned. I get all these arrows, by the way, I'll put all this stuff in the description box for you where I get everything. It all comes from Amazon. Every bit of this stuff came from Amazon. It's nice about Amazon, the price is good. And don't let the Chinese stuff fool you. I've used these carbon arrows for several years now. They work really well. The feathers are really good. Everything's really good about it. There's really no issues with them. And these things are pretty, I mean, when you weigh these, they're within less than 1 grain each, and they're also straightness tolerance of 0.006. So, I mean, you're getting a pretty good value with these shafts. So, I mean, that's why, I mean, if you're buying regular shafts, like a set of Easton shafts, or a set of Victory shafts, or something like that, you're going to pay $80, $90 just for the shafts alone, maybe more. So for $30, basically, you're getting 1/3 the cost, just same quality, all right? So anyway, so that's that. Stay tuned for part 2. We'll start building this series and doing part 2, getting it set up for the build. And then we'll take it out to the range and shoot a few of them, okay? All right, well, this has been Todd, all things archery and shooting. I want to thank you guys for watching. If I've already done so, please click that subscription button on the bottom and click that bell icon next to the subscription button so I can notify you of upcoming videos. And please leave me a comment. I will try to answer all my comments. I'd like to hear from you guys, all right? Well, until part 2, which will be the assembly of the arrow, I'll speak to you then. Ciao.